we're going to call the meeting to order at 6:06.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I have two people on the phone. I have Mr. Pizzicone and Mr. Obi on the phone. I'm just going to start the meeting by with a little tribute and a moment of silence. June 6, 1944, 73 years ago, Allied forces stormed the beaches of Normandy, France. 8,000 ships filled the English Channel. And I'd like to have a little tribute for those who served and a moment of silence for those who lost their lives. Yes.
Okay, we also like to do a moment of silence for a former board member, Pat Volcano, who passed away. Thank you. Okay. The purpose of this meeting is to vote on personnel items. So we're going to say, let's see, number 3, is there anyone from the public who would like to comment on agenda items? Seeing none, we're going to move on to items 4, A, B, and C. Can I have a motion? A second? Any discussion? All in favor? Frank? Aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Are there any interested citizens on non-agenda items? Seeing none? All in favor? 7. Thank you. Okay, can I get a motion to adjourn? Second? All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, meeting adjourned. We'll start the next meeting. I beat you, Frank. All right. I'm going to call to order the standing committee meeting, 6:10. We're going to start off by handing the floor over to Superintendent Ryan.
Thank you, Billy. I would like to take a few minutes tonight to acknowledge some very special learning opportunities that are occurring at our high school. And in speaking of our engineering department, and I would like Mr. Geiger, if you would, to come forward to introduce the staff members who will be speaking to you and who will then introduce the students and more specific information about the programs. Mr. Geiger.
Thank you, Mr. Reinhardt. We have the privilege this evening of showing off a little bit of what some of our students have been able to do in our engineering courses. Our engineering courses have become very popular, and in fact have many students working to get in there. And I want to bring to the podium at this time Mr. Justin Cass, who kind of oversees that department and is started up the program and has really gotten this to a level of productivity and excitement. Mr. Cass, who really got this thing started and unfortunately will be leaving us this year, is to be commended for the work he does in that department and the amount of kids that he has interested and passionate about the engineering that we have at Easton High School.
But I just say that he's leaving us because of the lure of the Rocky Mountains. It's not because he wants to leave Easton, but because he wants to live near the Rockies in Colorado. Is that fair to say?
It is. Thank you very much for pointing
We're
that out.
very sorry to see you go, and we don't understand why the local mountains aren't good. They should be. And the Delaware is great for water sports. I just don't know why. We're going to miss you terribly.
Well, thank you. As Mr. Geiger said, we actually started our official engineering program 4 years ago, and the program was made happen through a BEMIS grant corporation that was able to fund $35,000 towards implementing this program. So the program is called Project Lead the Way, and I'm sure a lot of you have heard it before. It is a nationally known program right now, and we are just one small part of Project Lead the Way. They have multiple curricular pathways. We currently, as a district, have the Pathway to Engineering program taking place at our local high school, Easton, in grades 9 through 12. We offer 6 courses currently that start with an intro-level engineering design course in 9th grade, 10th grade a principles of engineering course, and then really 11th to 12th grade is when students can diversify their course sequence, and whatever they are interested in, that's really the courses they may want to take, or they can take every one. So, for example, it's civil engineering and architecture, digital electronics, computer integrated manufacturing, and engineering design and development, which you will hear from the students tonight on their final design projects. So Project Lead the Way right now is K through 12. There's an elementary launch program, there's a gateway middle school program, there's a computer science pathway at the high school level, and there's a biomedical science pathway at the high school. And the reason we did this, I've done all my grad research in engineering curriculum, and the attrition rate of students who are not prepared with an engineering education, 50% dropout rate come freshman year after college. So that's really the justification behind, putting a program like this into place, supporting it, funding it, and really promoting it to the entire community. So as far as tonight's presentations, we just had our final engineering design and development course. It's a final capstone project that the students work in groups that are not picked by me. It's kind of a procedure of how we do it. Their interest of how they want to pick their problems. So they come up with their own problems, and basically we narrow them down to something that is more doable in our classroom and in our labs and such like that. But for the most part, there are some really good problems, some really good ideas, and just 2 of them tonight. They were all good this year, but we kind of just picked 2 that we really felt stuck out, and there could be some future research into these problems, and we'll see where they go. But when you hear from these students, many of them, they became passionate about their projects early on, and they were inspired, so it kind of gave them that intrinsic motivation where me, not directly instructing, as more as a facilitator in the classroom. So that's really what this course is about, and it's guiding them and getting them ready for that college freshman course that they'll probably have to do near the same thing. So without further ado, I'm going to have the first group. I don't think, I guess Lewis's group, you can come on up. I'll introduce these 3. Actually, Lewis, got 3 out of 4 here tonight. Louis Gilliland, Mario Amatrano, and Ben Radin. All of which are going to engineering schools next year, and pretty confident they will be successful. So.
Thank you. So, as Mr. Cass mentioned, I'm Louis Gilliland. This is Ben Radin, and this is Mario Matrano. And Mario is going to explain a little bit about the idea and development behind our project.
Okay, so basically what we wanted to do is we decided that our problem was going to be about drunk driving. And we can sit up here and throw statistics at you, but we all know how serious a problem of drunk driving is. It's something that affected all of us at some point or will affect us. So how did we get from that problem to our product, which Louis will demonstrate later? So we had to go through the design process. Essentially what we did was we had to look up previous solutions that people have come up with to generate ideas as to what we want ours to resemble. And one of the products that we found was an ignition interlock, and all that is basically it's a breathalyzer attached to the ignition of your car. And in order to start your car, you would have to pass the breathalyzer exam, and then therefore the car will start and you can drive. If you were to fail it, the car will fail to start, and you will not be able to drive under the influence. So that's something that we enjoyed because it actually does prevent you from driving on the road while intoxicated. However, we felt that there was a fault that existed within that design because you could easily bypass it by handing the breathalyzer to somebody who is sober, therefore allowing you to drive under the influence of alcohol. So obviously that's no good if you're trying to prevent accidents from occurring. So what we've decided is that we should have a system that would prevent you from actually driving under the influence of alcohol. But we actually want to take it one step further and put it so that the drunk driver does actually not get into the car. Because that's the first mistake that somebody will make when about to drunk drive, is actually getting into the vehicle. So what we decided is we came up with a control system, if you will, for a future, the future application of it would be as a locker system within establishments, either with a liquor license or just a bar in general. And the locker system, which is essentially what you do, is when you enter the establishment, you hand them your keys. They were therefore put in a secure locker system, and you will receive a code to later access the locker. And when you're ready to leave, you type in your code, you take your breathalyzer exam, essentially what it is, and depending on how you read, if you're positive, you get your keys, you get out of it. Simple as that. However, if you fail, you are no longer able to get to your car and drive. This is super effective, not only because it prevents you from getting in the car, it's also a psychological deterrent. Because now if you're just like taking the risk of having your keys taken away, you're going to drink more responsibly. You're not going to go over the legal limit and then potentially drunk drive. So now it has a fear of not getting your keys taken away. You're just going to be safer. So with that, you want to present?
So, with all of this in mind, we came up with the breathalyzer, and I'll get it out of my backpack right now. So this is the breathalyzer. It doesn't look like much. It's basically just a box with a lot of inputs and outputs. So the first thing that we had to figure out was what did we want our inputs and outputs to be? Well, we needed a display for the combination. That's seen here. It's an LED display. We needed a keypad for combination input, seen here. And then we needed the breathalyzer. And after a little bit of research, we found an electrical component called the NQ3 gas sensor. And what the NQ3 does is it senses different gases in the atmosphere around it, and one of those is ethanol. That's the gas that would be in a person's breath. That's the little orange circle right here. So we ordered these components as well as some LEDs just to show different indicators. And now we needed some way to control it. So we decided upon an Arduino microprocessor. Now if you look, you can see that right here. It's kind of hard to see, but there's a little plug on the top. And now we're going to plug the power in. We're just using a simple phone charger and turn this thing on. Okay, so when someone walks up to this machine and wants to request a locker, they press the start key. At this point, the combination will display. In this case, it's 8808. And then when they leave and they put in their combination, they'll press the pound key. Input their combination, and at this point, they have to pass a breathalyzer. So let's do that again. Start, get a combination. And if they pass, then the locker open indicator will blink and the number of their locker will display. Now, that's all well and good, but how are we going to test this thing? None of us can drink, we're all under 21, we can't even bring alcohol into the school. Well, we eventually just ended up looking up how to fail a breathalyzer. And we found out that you can fail a breathalyzer by using alcohol-based mouthwash. And we have some of it with us right now, and Ben is going to go to the bathroom and switch them around. Right here, store brand Listerine. So, in programming this thing, we developed two programs. The first program is what you're seeing right now. It's the actual implementation of the design. The other program is a simple test program that just displays the value read by the NQ3 sensor. Because the thing is, the NQ3 sensor doesn't display blood alcohol content, it displays an arbitrary unit, and we had to figure out a way to calibrate that. So in our research, we found that about 10 minutes after using this mouthwash is approximately equal to a 0.08 BAC. Now, in an actual implementation of the design, then obviously the calibration would be more exact as people could do blood tests. So now that Ben is simulating being drunk, we can test it with the failure states. So 53.7. And that indicator light just blinked to show that the breathalyzer was failed. Now we have two more indicator lights. One, if we keep requesting combinations, eventually we run out of lockers. That flashes when no locker is available, and I'll just keep pressing star until that happens. Right now we have it set up so it's only 4 lockers. And the other is if you input an invalid combination, so if you input, say, 9999, then this LED flashes. Now, this is just the control system for the lockers. We would obviously need to hook up an actual locker system. That's where these wires come in. These are the output wires that we would hook up to an electronic lock, hopefully. But this is the control system for the breath-a-locker. Thank you.
Our next group is Ethan Dorenza, Juan Romero Hernandez, and Cade Langen.
Okay, well, to introduce ourselves, I'm Ethan, Juan, and that's Cade. We basically wanted to start off the presentation asking people if they ever had a package stolen off their porch before they got home to get it. Has anybody ever had that happen to them?
Tough crowd. It happens to some people.
Yeah. Well, really, the actual problem is that the demographic is targeted more towards cities since it's so concentrated, and it can happen almost 1 in 5 times based off the research that we did. So we came up with a solution to protect those packages while also having the convenience of them to be delivered to your home. And we like to call it the My Box. And as you can see here, there is a basic keypad interface on the front. And it actually controls this electromagnetic lock that is there as well to keep the box closed. But of course, that alone isn't going to deter anybody from picking it up and taking it away from the porch. So we also came up with another mechanism using a door lock and 2 3D printed parts, one of which will be attached to the structure of the house. And on the interior part, there's a piece to keep it stationary inside the box. Now, when it's not powered, you can still put that piece inside the box and secure it. However, if you want to unsecure it, you need to find a way to provide power to the box and type in the designated code that's given to you. Now, we also have another keypad up here that would control the locking mechanism on the box. That would technically be the mail carrier's way of getting access to the box in order to bring it back to, like, say, UPS's headquarters so they can put more packages in it to deliver to you. We wanted to market it off sort of as a subscription-based service, but we also wanted to sell it as a box itself, since some people like to shop more often than others, and they use multiple mail carriers such as UPS, FedEx, Amazon. So they would have that basically on the porch, and the mail carriers would just have to open up the box using the basic code that would be used for the consumer as well to open it, place the packages inside, and then promptly leave.
When we were looking to create this project, we figured that 11 million people every year in America are affected by what they call porch piracy, which is people, low lives, driving behind UPS trucks, going up to houses and stealing. Because think about it, how easy it could be for you to drive around all day and steal stuff off of people's porches while they're, away at work. And it's an issue in our country that shouldn't be occurring, regardless of what's on your porch, whether it's a bottle of shampoo or like if you're a Bradley bad, ladies, I'm looking at you. And so we wanted to think of what convenience it could come down to. So we figured, hey, why not make a box that doubles as a locker, attached to your house? You have the right code sent to your phone once you order it. Yep, it beeps when it works. That's an electromagnet rated up to 130 pounds. And then when the correct code is typed in, that one's 2222, right? We kept it simple.
What you see right now, since I'm holding it, the rating on this electromagnetic lock is at 130 pounds. So it can pretty much hold a decent package in here, as long as it's not ridiculous in size. But once I type in the code, which would be 222, just for the basis of the demonstration, it opens up.
Wow.
Release the lock and the force so you can get to your package.
And that is it. Thank you for the time. Thank you very much for the opportunity to share this off.
Thank you.
Very impressive. Those of us able to attend the capstone projects, the explanation and demonstrations over past day or so, have been very fortunate to see such terrific talent in action. I congratulate you all for what you're doing. I think you'd have to go pretty far to see that kind of problem solving and work, engineering work in a high school environment. So I congratulate each and every one of you for bringing that to and all those things to high school. Thank you. Okay.
Athletics.
Yes.
Right.
Zach.
Come on
Next
up.
on deck. Behind you, some of these intelligent guys are athletes.
That's awesome. Rounded.
Okay, good evening, everyone. I'll just take a few minutes again to wrap up the spring season and then give you some statistics on the entire school year. And I gave you a packet up there to look through in the PowerPoint. Booster clubs again, we're up to 121,572 donated to the school district last year, and I'm in the process of collecting all that from this school year. That will be on the report for next school year, and I'll work on that over the summertime. Student Athlete Character Council, our seniors will be leaving us. Mr. Geiger and myself are in the process of electing another male and another female coming into 11th grade that would take over for the graduating seniors to be on that council. This evening, we're also going to hand out our Scholar Athlete medals from the EPC. And for baseball, we have Mr. Sean Boylan. So Sean, if you can come on up quick.
everybody. I'm going to Missouri University. It's in Scranton, PA. Playing baseball there. Played baseball and basketball for Easton. 3-year letter winner in baseball and 2 in basketball. I'll be studying secondary education and history, so maybe I'll be working for you guys someday. That's about it.
Okay, next for Boys Across, we have Kate Lanning up here. Kate.
Hi, I'm Kate Langen, 2-year letter winner in Boys Across, and I will be attending Clemson University to study mechanical engineering.
And next for Girls Across, we have Jacqueline Fine.